See, I don't mind. I don't mind us mucking up the environment for ourselves, but the thing is, it does also tend to affect every other species on the planet, you know? I mean, a lot of endangered species on this planet at the moment, as I think we all know. As I think we all know, if we have watched that marvellous television programme, Harry and the Hendersons.
What a marvellous show.
What a very, very fine programme that is, ladies and gentlemen.
It moved me through the entire gamut of emotional response.
What an extraordinary... In no way was the licence fee wasted on that programme. I mean, for example, you know, isn't it just great, like, the way you can't tell that it's a bloke in a suit? I mean... just marvellous piece of televisual art there. And, of course, the great thing about Harry and the Hendersons is that you're supposed to feel sorry for Harry because he is the last of an endangered species. But you watch that programme carefully, right? You look carefully at Harry's anatomy. It's very obvious why he is the last of an endangered species.
Bigfoot, no knob.
You know, that's basically what it boils down to. I mean, if you're going to make the programme, at least have the courage to do it properly. But I mean, those species are endangered. There are a lot of endangered species. So what do we do about it? Well, some people say put them in a zoo. You know, at least they're safe there from poachers, that sort of thing. But a lot of other people disagree with that. They say no, a zoo is not a nice place to put an animal. I've never actually bought this argument myself, to be quite honest, because you're not telling me that if certain endangered species weren't actually happy in the zoo, that they couldn't do something about it. I mean, you're not telling me that if a rhino decides that, you know, it isn't sort of happy in the safari park, that it couldn't do something about it. I mean, this is 3.5 tons of solid muscle, blood and bone. Surely, if a rhino wants to get out of the safari park, it can.
I'm really pissed off in here. I'm going to bust my way out. Oh, bugger. Chicken wire.
It doesn't wash, to be quite honest with you. But no, I mean, those species do die out, though. Some species do become completely extinct. The dodo became completely extinct. Mind you, of course, the dodo deserved it, because the dodo, like the ostrich, is one of that... It is one of that select group. It is one of that select... It is one of that select group of species which are known collectively as the flightless birds.
Flightless birds. What is the point of a flightless bird? Birds are meant to fly. That's why they're called birds. Oh, you're a flightless bird. Meet the incredible drowning trout.
Don't get too worked up, all right?
And his friend, Colin the claustrophobic mole. I'll tell you what kind of birds can't fly. Yes, I'll tell you what kind of birds can't fly. Bloody lazy birds. Well, they sit around on their arse all day doing nothing, kind of birds. I mean, they've all got wings, haven't they? They've all got wings. Yes, they just can't be bothered to use them. What kind of a choice is that? What was the penguin thinking? If I keep these wings, I'll be able to fly where I want to fly, see whatever I want to see, do whatever I want to do, and if I get rid of them, well, I'll be able to waddle round this rock. And well done, the penguin. Of course, all flightless birds have been so successful, haven't they? Like the dodo, the kiwi. You can't move for all the kiwis, can you? You can't get into Trafalgar Square, but for all the bloody kiwis, can you?
Sorry, that's all right. That's all right. Just, you know, but calm down. You know, it's just that you shouldn't let it do this to you. It's not worth, you know, this amount of
I don't know
hassle.
what sort of...
Just, you know, don't let it get to you like this. Just keep it down. Keep it down. Just keep it down.
It's just those fucking penguins.
I know. There's
They've got wings and they don't use them.
It's completely stupid. You mustn't let it work you up to this extent. It just isn't worth the emotional stress, right? Just keep it down.
Sorry.
Yeah. Just, you know, it really isn't worth letting it do this to you, okay?
Little black and white bastards.
No, they get all those commercials.
I know they get the commercials, but
they get all those commercials.
Don't worry about it. Just, you know...
Oh, pick up a penguin.
No, for fuck off.
You should not let them do this to you, all right? This is just a moral victory for the penguins here, all right? Just quiet. But it is, though. It is a bit odd, you know. It is kind of unnatural, like, you know, birds that can't fly. It is a bit weird. It's like mammals that can fly, you know. It's just odd. And this is why bats are so frightening. Now, have you ever actually seen a bat? It's extraordinary. It's like a gerbil hang gliding. Very, very weird. I sometimes wonder, though, what poor old Noah makes about all this, because, of course, Noah went to all that trouble to save all the species on the planet to start with, and, of course, now here we are merrily wiping them all out again. Probably, of course, the greatest natural disaster in the entire history of the planet, the Great Flood. The entire planet flooded for 40 days and 40 nights, and I bet I know what happened the very next day. Everyone suddenly knew loads of jokes about it. Because... I'm fascinated by this, right? I'm fascinated. Whenever you get a big disaster, the very next day, everyone knows loads of jokes about it. And it's the same joke up and down the country. Every school playground, every pub, every office, everyone knows who makes these jokes up and how do they get round so quickly, you know? And this is not a new thing either. This is not a new thing. Jokes have always followed big disasters. I know that archaeologists were digging in some Roman remains, and they found some graffiti on a wall in Latin that how many Pompeii residents can you get in the back of a chariot? All of them, if you've got a shovel. So, as I say, it isn't a new thing. But now I do wonder about poor old, Noah and what went on.
I am Noah, the greatest conservationist that ever lived. Let me tell you how it all happened. Oh, it must have been about 900 BC and something. It was a Sunday afternoon. I know it was a Sunday because I've been watching Bullseye. When suddenly, this cloud cleaved in two, and a great booming voice said, "Noah, there is to be a deluge, for I have beheld the corruption of the earth." Now, at first, I thought it was the man from the TV detector van. But then I realised it was the Almighty. But I had no idea what he was going on about. Fortunately, he undertook a slight rephrasing. "Noah," he said, "the bunch of you have been bad lads and now it's going to piss down." The upshot was, he wanted me to save the planet. Apparently, it come down to a choice between me and Sting. And I got it on the basis I wasn't a balding, unshaven ex-English teacher with an annoying voice. Anyway, the Almighty told me to go away and build an ark, and then save 2 of every species on the planet. Oh, that's easy, that, isn't it? Oh, that's a piece of piss, that, isn't it? I mean, there's 5,000 species of insects alone. You know how difficult it is to trap a wasp under a jar, let alone 2 of them, of different sexes. And how do you tell them apart anyway? It's not like the male wasp always wears Y-fronts and leaves a bog seat upright, is it? Anyway, some of the animals they didn't have to take. I mean, the birds, they were all right. I merely gathered them together, asked them how many of them could soar majestically on the warm upcurrents of the trade winds. The eagle, the osprey and the kitty hawk said that would be fine. Chicken was less confident. So I let him on board. Oh, we had problems. I mean, choosing just 2 of every species was a problem. The mammals, they were the worst. Argumentative, you see. You try telling a pit bull that there is no room for him on the ark. Which is why I didn't. There were 74 pit bulls on in the end. Still, I'm glad I saved them now, because your pit bull does make a very good guide dog. The blind person never bumps into anybody. Come on, let's be honest. I mean, tame animals just aren't that interesting, are they? They don't bother with them for the adverts, do they? You don't get Esso, put a guinea pig in your tank. Peugeot, the ring-tailed lemur, goes from strength to strength. Anyway, I digress. Oh, the flood. Oh, boy, did it piss down. Boy, did it piss down. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights. Funny thing was, in parts of East Anglia, they still had a hosepipe ban. But then it stopped. So I got this dove
and I told him to go and get me proof that the waters were receding. 3 hours later, he came back with a packet of silk cut and a carton of milk. And I released the animals. I think I did quite well, actually. In the end, to be honest, I had rather more species than I started out with, due to a little bit of crossbreeding. One little crossbreed was half Labrador puppy and half leopard. If it ripped your arm off, it brought you a bog roll to mop it up with. Only one thing I regret, though.
Why did I save those fucking penguins? You know what I mean? They're just little black and white